Hello, and welcome back in here to Wenzel's World. Well, it's been a week since I've been on, and so had a lot of things go on, and so thought I'd come and sit out here by the river this morning. It's real comfortable right now. It was cold, and if I didn't have this jacket on, it would be real chilly to me. So, but the sun is shining on me some through the branches of the trees. And of course, you keep an eye on the background. You might, ain't no telling what you might see back there. And so we'll sit around by the river and look at the, or I will, look at the waterfall. I'll watch upriver, you watch back river, and we'll talk a little while. So how you been doing? Well, last week we went to the Smokies, and so went to Dollywood, and went there mainly to hear a Southern gospel quartet group that sings there regularly, 5 days a week, 4 times a day. So we were there a couple of days to hear the Kingdom Airs, a male quartet singing group which consists also of a bass guitar player, drummer, and uh, of course, they got a piano, and then the electric guitar, along with he also plays the steel guitar. So, like I said, we heard them in 2 days, 4 times. So they sang something like 30, 35 minutes, something like that each time. So really enjoyed getting away and going over there and listening to some good gospel music. So quartet style. Southern gospel style. Well, a bird just swooped down to the river, caught something, and up it will get away it went. Hmm. I told you, you don't never know what you might see now, so you keep an eye out behind me. And today I got my happy Meerschaum Monday. I got my Meerschaum pipe here. Of course, y'all seen it. Not a whole lot to brag about other than a Meerschaum. There's nothing wrote on it anywhere. So it's one of them that you screw in and screw out. Doesn't take a filter. And it's a little bit loose, but I took and made a circle like a washer out of some uh, pig leather, what I use for lining if I go to about lining a leather project. And so that whenever you tighten it over, then that stem sits exactly correct in there, which is the way I like it. Of course, if it's a little bit crooked, it still smokes the same way. But, we all got preferences, don't we? So we had a nice week last. We wasn't all week, just 2 days, and been trying to get caught up with some of the things I got to do in my work here on the place and other things I got to try to do. So, and then ended the week by Saturday. I went to a rodeo. I've been wanting to go to a rodeo all year, and they was going to have one up the road a couple of miles back in May, but they canceled it since it was cold and rained all day. That was a good thing. I don't know if they'd had much turnout or not, but anyway, I got over at the rodeo a little early, and so I thought that thing started at 3, but no, the gates opened up at 3 for the vendors and different things like that. So anyhow, after I got there, I thought, well, I'll just stay. So I walked around and looked at the horses and things like that. And then I went inside this big building. It's one of those steel frame buildings, you know. And so it's pretty good size. I don't know how big, probably, I don't know, probably half acre big, I guess. I don't know. It's a big old building. And inside of there, they had one of these, they had a booth set up for somebody that was selling some Western looking jewelry and things like that. And then they had a petting uh, pens in there. They had a kangaroo, and had some sheep, had uh, a real tame uh, Hereford. I don't know whether it was a steer or bull. I never even went over there. Then had a dart board, big old dart board. Then they had this thing for everyone who wanted to get on it. Mostly it was children. It was a bull, and this fella wasn't a real bull now, but this fella controlled this bull with this remote control thing, whatever you call it, electronic thing. And so they could get on it, you know, and he'd go, it would pivot in the middle. He'd go all the way around, or he'd go one side, back to the other side. He'd go up a little bit. And so hardly anybody stayed on it after they got, looked like that fella would watch them. And once they got used to being on it, he would give them a quick jerk, and in the floor they'd go. Not really a floor, but a padded bottom it was. I was sitting on a bale of straw, or it might have been a bale of hay. There is difference. I don't remember now whether it was hay or straw. I didn't bother to look too much, and there was one of these calf roping dummy heads mounted to it, and another one over there. And there was a poly rope on one for both of them. And I sit there, you know, and watch the people come in and look, petting the stuff and all of that, and getting onto that mechanical bull over there and things like that. Some of them kids came around and wanted to do that lariat. I just sitting on that bale of straw looking at them, and they didn't know what to do. So, you know, I just took it upon myself. I said, "You want me to show you how?" So I got the rope, you know, out and showed them how to build the loop and how to hold it, you know, on the loop with part of the spoke in your hand. How to go about putting it up over your head and pivoting on your wrist as you swing your arm and so forth. And most of them could, after they tried a few times, they could get the loop around the dummy head there, but some of them never could do it. So I spent probably, I don't know, 45 minutes. And of course, you know, after one come up there and I was showing, there was another one at the other bale of straw looking at me, you know, like, you know, would you show me how to do it? So I go over there and show them how to do it. So, anyway, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Some of them, you know, it's just like learning to rope. It's just like riding a bicycle or driving a car. You got to get used to it. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. And I'm no expert by no means. First competition they had when the rodeo started was mutton busting. That's where these children, boys or girls, either one, they probably looked like they was 6 years old. They'd get on these sheep. Of course, these adults would help them, get on the sheep, and they'd open up the gate like you do whenever you're bull riding or any other competition, discipline, and rodeo activity. They'd open the gate, and out they'd come, and most of them didn't get very far riding the sheep. Some of them, they knew they was supposed to hang on. Some of them, I wondered if they practiced much. But that was interesting. I enjoyed watching the children in their mutton busting competition. Of course, they had hamburgers and to buy. But anyway, they were really four prices too high. But who am I to say what's high and what's not high? Because I remember being able to buy a meal at dinner time for about $3. So I think $8 is a lot to pay for a hamburger. But anyway, let that be as it may. It was a thick burger. They didn't pad out the patties, but it was thick burgers anyway. So they had that. Of course, they had all kind of cold drinks and chips and I don't know different other types of meat sandwiches and what's that stuff? Them there corn chips with all that there cheese sauce on it, whatever you call that stuff. Had all that kind of stuff. Of course, they had some. You ain't got no tamper. I meant to pick up a stick or something or other, but it's done gone out, so it ain't gonna burn me. After the mutton busting contest, why they had a break for a while. I went and got me them high price sandwiches and some free bottled water. There was different booths set up. One of them was our Farm Bureau agent. They's giving away free water. I thought, well, what's the use of me buying a drink of some kind when I can go over and get me a bottle of water? So that's what I did there. And then they had the bull riding. And by that time, then it was something like 7 o'clock or so. It was starting to get cool. I had a long sleeve shirt on, but didn't have an undershirt on, and I didn't have a jacket. Although I was up under this sheltered place, but man, it was crowded. And I was sat on the front where I could see, and next to the row where you come, people coming, getting in and out, and there's always you had to lean over, and people walking in front of you trying to watch the competition. So anyway, I didn't stay for it all. Like I say, I thought it would start at 3 o'clock. That's what the sign said. But anyway, it started later, so I still like to go to one if they'd have it on a Saturday like that in the afternoon. But anyway, I probably won't. I hadn't been to a rodeo since we lived in Florida, Okeechobee. That's a cow town, they call it there in southern Florida. Okeechobee's north of the big lake, Big Water. big lake, and so I lived down there for a while, and we went to a rodeo. I took my boy to a rodeo when he was young. So anyway, you know what? I think I forgot to tell you something. In this pipe I'm smoking right here, I've got something you can't get anymore. No, I don't think they make it anymore. H Burley Flake. I read the tin, well, the label that I put on the jar anyway. The tin probably been long gone, but the label I put on the jar, I read to see what all was in it. I don't think I remember. It seemed like me it had some Virginia. Did it? Am I right in saying that from three continents? I think I'm right. Don't hold me to that. Some of you may have that memorized. It seemed like me it had some dark fired in it. So if you never had the H Burley Flake, I don't know where you're going to go to get it. There might be some place that has it, and maybe some in pipe shows. There might be somebody having some like that. So they may have to pay pretty good bit for it. I don't know, but anyway, if you see it, why, if you pick it up, you won't be disappointed. It's got a different taste to it. You say, what does it taste like? Well, I don't know. It tastes different than other tobaccos that I have. So I don't know anything's really that I can think of as close to it. I was looking the other day, and two or three boxes. I still got tobacco in bags, samples, and I'm thinking, I need to. I got enough little old samples here and there, and this one and that one. To, if I, of course, I ain't bought any tobacco for a while, and so I guess the last thing I bought was them rat trays tobaccos. When was that? 3 months ago, something like that. So I ain't bought any. That's a lighter that was missing all summer. I put them stickers on there where I could. It's a black Zippo, and I put them stickers on there, hoping maybe I could see see it better. If it got someplace where it was dark, it just blend in. So, but when it gets down in the chair between the seat and the arm there, down inside of there, I don't care what kind of sticker you got on it, it ain't still ain't not gonna show up, and that's where it was hid out at all summer. Well, the walnuts, black walnut, they really falling around. They laying around here and there. There's two or three, there's a couple over yonder. They just falling around here and there. Well, it's fall. Before I leave from here, I'm gonna get over and look around at that muddy spot and see what kind of tracks I see. I've been trying to keep the chickens fastened up at night, keep the door closed on the chicken house. and chicken tractors. I got doors on them where I can close them. Try to keep this wildlife, possums and coons and stuff like that, to get in there and get them. I hope I got it fixed where a weasel can't get in there, but time will tell. At least we ain't had no canines, foxes and coyotes and bobcats, coons and possums and things that would get into them. At least they've been spared of that. But we got trapping season coming up next month, along with Indian summer, and according to how many cold days we have in November, I'll set a few traps out here, practice some predator control. Catch up some of this stuff we got around here. That get into my chickens. So I don't know how much you're gonna pay on fur this time. I don't know what's in demand. Seems like every season there's something a little bit different. A couple of seasons ago it was beaver. It's been bobcat. It's been coyotes were popular at one time, but the PETA people put a stop to that. I won't get into that, but there was. And then seemed like to me, see, coons, they hadn't wanted them things in a long time. You can't hardly give away a possum, so they'll pay a little something for mink, pay a little something for muskrats. Don't really care for coyotes much. They'll pay a little something for gray and red fox. So otters were popular one time. They wanted them. Market must have got flooded or something, or whatever they was using it for, they quit using it, or whatever it was. I don't know. Don't seem like they want to pay that much for otters nowadays. So I don't try to make a living off trapping. I just, like I say, try to keep some of these predators down from getting to my chickens or goats or stuff. Well, I hope y'all have a good rest of the week. And so, until we meet again, have a good one.